friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to explain TEXTSPLIT function in detail. Excel has a fantastic feature called TEXTSPLIT. This function addresses a long-standing issue we have all faced for years. Splitting text, especially when dealing with multiple spaces, commas, or a mix of different delimiters. The more complex the splitting requirement, the more challenging our problem became. And accordingly, our formula became more extensive. Thankfully, TEXTSPLIT now handles all of this effortlessly. You can even combine it with other functions to make Excel do things that we could never do before. Let's take a closer look at how it works. How to split text into different columns. Let's begin with the fundamentals. I have a list of various skills from different people all contained in a single cell. I want to divide them into multiple cells, and TEXTSPLIT makes this task easy. To use TEXTSPLIT, I start by typing the function. I need to provide the text I want to split, which is this cell. Then I have to specify the delimiter, indicating how I want to separate the items. In this case, it's a comma. So I enclose a comma in quotation marks. Close the bracket, press enter, and there you are. Everything is now split into separate cells. Take a closer look here. I use a comma and a space, which leaves an extra space after that. Now you have got various ways to remove that extra space. You can pop this function into the trim function and it will skip away that space. Otherwise, you can hit Ctrl Z to go back, adjust your delimiter to be a comma, space, and you will still get the same result. What's the issue when I copy this down? Will it work everywhere? No, because some people used a semicolon as a delimiter and that ends up messing with my results. No worry for TEXTSPLITs because you can include multiple delimiters, just enclose them inside curly brackets. Locate the curly brackets on your keyboard and be sure to close them too. Inside, define your delimiters. I will add my first separator in quotation marks, then my second delimiter, which is a semicolon, space. Close the quotation mark. You can add as many delimiters as needed. To be safe, why not include a colon and space as well? Then press enter. When I pull this down, everything splits correctly. If we add a colon and type Excel here, it works perfectly. Ignore empty cells, skipping blanks. Next, let's tackle a scenario where we need to split a name into first and last, excluding the titles Mr. and Mrs. We will use TEXTSPLIT. The text is this, and we will use a space as a delimiter. If I just leave as it is and press enter, I end up with Mr. and Mrs. include. But as we have seen before, I can add multiple delimiters. So in quotation marks, I will put Mr. and let's add another one for Mrs. and close that curly bracket. Now when I press enter, everything split, but there is an empty cell. I want to ignore empty cells. No problem because TEXTSPLIT has optional arguments. We don't need the row delimiters, but we do need the one for ignoring empty cells. Let's set that to true. Now when we press enter, we get first and last names. Apply to all. Now you can see we get our desired result. Split text in row and columns. In this scenario, we have our data written like this in a single cell and we want to bring it into multiple cells that look like this. No problem for TEXTSPLIT. Let's begin with TEXTSPLIT. Our text is this. Now we can use the column delimiter and the row delimiter. So for the column separator, let's set it as the equal sign. Put that for our column delimiter. Next is the row delimiter. It should be the comma. I will go with comma, space, and close the bracket, press enter, and I get everything split properly. Split, sort, and stitch back. Next, let's do something really cool. We want to take our skills here and get them back in a single cell, but we want them internally sorted. Excel should come first, followed by Google Sheets, then Power BI, PowerPoint, and Word last. How do we do that? Well, we are going to use a few functions together to get what we want. First, let's start from the inside. We will use TEXTSPLIT to split these up. That's our text, my delimiter, here is a comma, but here I noticed I don't have a space where I have a comma space there. So to be on the safe side, I am just going to go with a comma as the delimiter, but I am going to put this inside the trim function so that I don't have any space at the beginning of the words. Now that I have everything split separately, I can use the sort function to get these sorted. My array is this. My sort index is just the one row that I have, so I am going to skip that argument. The sort order default is ascending, and I am going to skip that argument because I want the default. But this is something I don't want to skip, and I cannot skip because I am sorting by column in this case. So I need a true for that last argument. I close the bracket, press enter, and I have everything sorted. But I don't want them on separate cell. I want to bring everything together again into a single cell. So I am going to use the text join function and stitch these back together. My delimiter is comma space in quotation marks. I can ignore empty cell in case I have nothing, or just the space between the delimiters. Lastly, my text is the formula I wrote before. Close the bracket, press enter, and we have everything internally sorted. We get Excel first, then Google Sheets, Power BI, and last is Word. Amazing function that help us do incredible things. This column feature in Excel is like the smart, dynamic companion for the regular one. What do you think about it? Are you excited about it? Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching and being here. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.